Hello everyone, welcome to Tennis Fan Video. Iga Swiatek has highlighted the difficulties involved in women playing best-of-5 set matches at Grand Slams. Her WTA rival Coco Gauff is against 5 sets for women, an idea that was proposed at the Australian Open earlier this year. Its former chief Craig Tiley proposed 5 sets for women from the quarterfinals onwards of Grand Slams, having been inspired by the 2 thrilling men's semifinals in Melbourne. Swiatek has now joined the debate, having been asked at Indian Wells if she is for or against the proposed change. Iga Swiatek unsure if women can keep quality for 5 sets. Swiatek said, "I think honestly it's a weird approach in the world where everything is becoming faster, you know. So I don't know if the audience honestly would like that. Also, I don't know if we would be able to keep the quality for 5 sets. Well, that's a fact, men are more physically strong and they can handle it for sure better. Also, we have never practiced in a way to prepare for that. So we would need to change, I think, our whole calendar because the Grand Slams would be so tough that I don't think we would have honestly time to prepare for any other tournaments. So I think it would change a lot. I don't think it would change anything for good. I don't know what's the reason, honestly, for this. It was then proposed to Swiatek that fans could get more value for money with 5 sets, with only 2 Australian Open matches from the 4th round onwards having gone to 3 sets. She responded, "There is already more tennis with extending with the Sunday, so I guess we can extend forever. But we are the ones that will play, and the question is we're actually going to handle it or not, and I think this might be tricky, this 5-court situation." It was certainly a reasonable response from Swiatek, who has long been a proponent for an improved WTA calendar. Lengthier matches at Grand Slams would definitely not help in that regard, although intriguingly, it could make the women's draw more competitive and entertaining. At the same time, however, more fatigued players would undoubtedly lead to a drop in quality, which would go against the aim of better entertainment. Iga Swiatek boasts fantastic Indian Wells history. For now, Swiatek will be firmly focused on clinching success from her best-of-3 set matches at Indian Wells. The Polish superstar is the 2nd seed at the WTA 1000 event in California, which she won in both 2022 and 2024. She defeated Maria Sakkari in both finals, securing a 6-4, 6-1 victory first time out before triumphing 6-4, 6-0. Like Sakkari, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka has also reached and lost 2 Indian Wells finals in recent times. Intriguingly, Swiatek enters Indian Wells on the back of a defeat to Sakkari, who won their Qatar Open quarterfinal clash. She started her 2026 season in superb fashion by winning the United Cup with Poland, but that was followed by an Australian Open quarterfinal defeat to eventual champion Elena Rybakina. Iga Swiatek on 5-set matches, a game changer or a curveball for women's tennis. In the high-octane world of professional tennis, the question of whether women should play 5 sets, like their male counterparts in Grand Slams, has lingered for years. This debate isn't just about stamina or endurance. It's about tradition, equality, and the evolution of the sport. Recently, the world turned its eyes to Iga Swiatek, one of the brightest stars in women's tennis, as she shared her thoughts on this hotly contested topic. At the core of Swiatek's perspective is a blend of realism and curiosity. "I think it could be interesting," she said in a candid interview, "but at the same time, it's not something that should be forced on players without preparation. Physically and mentally, it's a different kind of challenge." For many fans, her comment may seem measured, but it opens a broader discussion about the physicality, strategy, and future of the women's game. The physical challenge. Women's matches traditionally play best-of-3 sets, while men compete in best-of-5 sets in Grand Slams. At first glance, extending women's matches seems like a step toward equality. After all, shouldn't men and women endure the same trials for the same glory? Swiatek, however, points out a crucial nuance. The body responds differently over longer matches. 5 sets are a lot, she explains. It's not just about running more or hitting more shots. It's about recovery, injury prevention, and maintaining peak performance over several hours. In men's tennis, 5-set matches are grueling but expected, with players' training regimes designed around these endurance tests. For women, adopting 5 sets would require a significant adjustment in conditioning, nutrition, and match preparation. Swiatek's caution highlights that equality in tennis isn't just about time on court. It's about fair preparation and support, strategic depth and mental fortitude. While the physical demands are daunting, Swiatek also notes the mental implications of longer matches. Tennis is as much a chess game as it is a test of athleticism. In a 5-set format, momentum swings, psychological resilience, and tactical adjustments become even more critical. A player who loses the first set badly could have the chance to reset and mount a comeback,
Matches could be
adding
more
drama
about
and
strategy
unpredictability,
and less about early bursts of energy, Swiatek said. You'd have to think several moves ahead, like in chess. It could make women's tennis even more exciting to watch, but it could also be exhausting mentally. Her insight underscores that a shift to 5 sets isn't merely about length. It's about transforming the narrative of women's tennis. Every set would carry extra weight. Every game could become pivotal, and every decision on court would be magnified. Tradition versus innovation. Historically, women's tennis has thrived on its unique identity. Best-of-3 matches have produced intense, fast-paced spectacles where every point counts. Some critics argue that extending matches could dilute this intensity or increase the risk of burnout among top players. Others, however, see an opportunity for parity, suggesting that equal-length matches would symbolize respect and recognition for women's athletic prowess. Swiatek's take seems to balance these perspectives. She doesn't outright reject the idea, but frames it as a conversation rather than a mandate. It could work, she said, but we'd have to test it in certain tournaments first, maybe as exhibitions or special events, before making it standard. Players need to adapt gradually, and fans need to experience it too. This measured stance suggests a future where innovation doesn't erase tradition, but builds upon it thoughtfully. Audience engagement and media impact. From a spectator standpoint, 5-set matches could be a revelation. Longer contests often allow for epic narratives, dramatic comebacks, and unforgettable moments. Think of the marathon encounters in men's tennis, matches that last 5 hours or more, where heroics emerge and legends are forged. Could women's tennis produce the same drama without compromising health and performance? Swiatek seems to believe it's possible, but with careful consideration. Fans love intensity and quality, not just quantity, she noted. If 5 sets enhance the story without wearing players down, it could be amazing. But if it becomes repetitive or physically punishing, it might lose its charm. Her perspective reminds us that the evolution of sport isn't just a technical discussion. It's about creating memorable experiences for both players and audiences. The road ahead. Implementing 5-set matches for women wouldn't happen overnight. It would require adjustments in scheduling, player preparation, tournament organization, and broadcasting. Grand Slam organizers would need to rethink match pacing and court availability, while players would have to adopt new conditioning and recovery strategies. Swiatek's willingness to engage with the idea reflects her openness to experimentation, balanced by her understanding of the stakes involved. Ultimately, Swiatek's reflections spark a broader conversation. The future of women's tennis is not fixed. It can evolve, adapt, and embrace new formats while honoring its unique qualities. Whether 5 sets become a standard, a selective experiment, or a one-off novelty, the discussion itself signifies a growing respect for women's tennis as an athletic and mental powerhouse. Conclusion. Iga Swiatek's insight into the possibility of 5-set matches is both pragmatic and visionary. She acknowledges the challenges, physical, mental, and logistical, but also recognizes the potential benefits. Deeper strategy, heightened drama, and a new layer of respect for women athletes. Her voice adds nuance to a debate that has long been polarized between tradition and equality. For tennis fans, the takeaway is clear. The women's game is ready for innovation, but it requires thoughtful implementation. As Swiatek and her peers continue to push boundaries on and off the court, the sport may discover a new rhythm where equality, excitement, and player well-being coexist, perhaps one 5-set match at a time. In the end, whether women play 3 sets or 5, Swiatek reminds us that the heart of tennis isn't just in the number of games played. It's in the courage, skill, and strategy that define the players themselves. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.